What's up guys, it's your boy August BTC back again with another video. Today we are going to talk about Bitcoin and why it's crashing so badly. We just had a huge crash yet again, how my portfolio is performing, and how exactly am I preparing, or how is my mindset in this bear market? As I mentioned, guys, multiple times, we are currently in a bear market and we've been in the bear market, right, since October of last year, actually, pretty much since we fell. If I zoom out for you here, guys, since we fell below the 200-day moving average, right, we broke this level, yeah, so around October, November. Soon as we broke this level and we did not reclaim it, that's basically the sign that we were in a bear market. So right now, Bitcoin crashed badly to a very crazy price, guys. It went all the way down to 50, almost 57,000, like literally 58,000. Remember the blue box that was here, which is a massive level of support, which is basically under 200-week moving average. It broke that box, and now the buyers have stepped in. The buyers have said, hey, not today, we don't want you to go lower. So people are basically buying Bitcoin. That's why you're seeing this weeks right here. So this is very brutal. A lot of people are panicking, a lot of people are losing money, a lot of people are giving up, a lot of people are leaving. But what am I doing? I've said this many times, guys. For me, I'm all here for the long term, right? I'm trading Bitcoin options and I'm building my portfolio. And the goal for me is to get it to $10,000, right? I'm not expecting to get there tomorrow. I'm not expecting to get there in 3 weeks, right? I don't know when I'll get there. But the plan or the outlook that I have is between 1 to 3 years, right? That's the plan that I have because I want to build a portfolio. And I believe that I can actually get to $10,000 pretty quicker. Right, than 3 to 2 years. But I just want to make you guys understand that my outlook is long term. I'm not a day trader, right? I'm building a position here through crypto options trading. So I don't know if we're going to keep this level 59, if we're going to stay around this level, if we're going to see relief rally or whatever the case may be, but that's what's happening. So how am I preparing? Let me quickly go into the portfolio to show you what's basically happening. So what's happening, guys? How am I preparing? How's my mindset? First things first, guys, this is nothing, right? I don't really care what's happening in the portfolio right now, and I'm not really faced with what's happening in the portfolio, and I'm going to explain why. I'm in this for the long term, and I'm building a crypto options portfolio, right? As soon as we bounce, as soon as we find a bottom, because we're in a bear market, and every bit bear market finds a bottom. As soon as we find the bottom, we're going to bounce, and the bounce back is going to be glorious. I'm not trying to time the bottom. I'm just trying to participate in this volatility, and I love volatility and I need volatility because volatility allows me to bring in premiums into the account. As you can see, I've captured again, well, I've received another $500 in premium, and I'm up currently 6% on it. So I'm just rinsing and repeating, rinsing and repeating. I stand to make this money in the next 35 days. And if I make this money, guys, I'll essentially be erasing this theoretical paper loss that I'm seeing here right here. Okay, so let's quickly run them through the portfolio, right? As I've mentioned, I'm currently down about $900. But look at the theta, guys. From the previous video, this theta is just increasing each and every day with this volatility. So currently I'm making $12 a day, which is crazy. The goal is to bring this to $100 a day, $50 a day. That would be great. Delta is still in check. Gamma is still okay because I'm still setting a little bit far out, right? And I brought in $500 into the portfolio, and I'm currently up $29 for now on the positions, right? So what did I do, guys? Let's quickly go here to the realized P&L tab. As you can see, I'm up $200. First things, let me show this to my South African community, the Rand value. So I'm pretty much down bad, guys. I'm down 15,000 Rand in a single day. That's crazy. But again, this is paper losses. I haven't realized any of these losses. So I'm just going to leave it. And as each day goes by, guys, this theta, this 200 Rand that you see here is eating away at this loss each and every day, each and every day. That's why I love the strategy of setting options in a bear market like this. So each and every day that goes by, this paper loss will just continue to decrease because the theta is eating at it, the premium that I'm receiving is eating at it, and it's just a matter of time and patience. So what happened, guys? I closed some new positions. So Bitcoin basically dropped. I think it was at, remember I had these positions open. I had Bitcoin open at 69K, and I had it open at um 68K, but then when Bitcoin crashed all the way to 59K, right, this positions went massive profit, very close to 50%. And my rule is each and every time that my positions go to 50%, I close them for a profit, and that's what I did. That's why I'm up for currently for the week $215, which is a which is about $3,500 in a week. Before that was up 2,000, now it's 3,000. So this basically happened because the price of action of Bitcoin is just going crazy to the downside. So my short calls are basically printing. All these positions are just short calls here. So if you look at the history, what happened, just to go through it. So as you can see, I bought to close, right, 68K, right, locked in $43 in profit, which is about, let's see here, 700 rand that I locked in. And then I sold to open a new position, a new short call. So each time that I close positions, I bring in more premium into the account. So I sold to open this position and I brought in $100 into the account, which is perfect. And then I bought to close the 69K call, which was also in profit, right? And then I brought in $34 into the account, which is about what I locked in. I realized about $500 into the account, which is great. 500 rand, sorry. And then I sold to open another position, 65K call, which I brought in again $78. So I'm just printing premium, guys, regardless of what's happening. I'm closing positions for profit, and then I'm selling new positions to bring in more profit into the account. So I'm just rinsing and repeating. And look at here, guys. Remember my premium captured, right? This thing stays roughly around $500, right? $500. I like to keep it around $500, right? And so far I've already collected $200, and I still stand to make $500 in the next 35 days. So in the next 35 days, guys, I can literally be making this $500 plus this $200 that I've already locked in. And we also need to add this $12 in theta that I'm collecting. So at the end, I'll show you the calculations of basically in a month or in 35 days how much I can expect to make in premiums, right? So let's look at the individual positions, guys. We are down bad, right? It's ugly. It's absolutely brutal. So currently the short puts are the ones that are in trouble, right? The short puts and the long call. So let's analyze what's happening. So I'm selling this triangle like I've mentioned, and on this triangle side, so far the short calls are winning, right? Because when Bitcoin goes down, the short calls are printing, they're winning, but then the short puts are in danger. I've sold 0.1, 0.1 here. I've collected $85 in premium, $97 in premium, which expires in 35 days. Currently I'm down very bad, $200 here, $185 here. I'm down pretty bad, and extrinsic value increase as well, right? But the short calls are doing great. So as each day goes by, because this, I literally opened these positions today, guys, that's why it's in minor loss. This is the fees, and just because I opened it today, but it'll be in profit in the next 2 to 3 days or so, maybe tomorrow even, so it'll be in profit. So I'm just rinsing and repeating, and the strategy that I have, you guys, is I never touch the side that is losing, especially with a strategy. I only touch the sides, or I close the side that is winning. So far what's been winning for me is the short calls, right? Same thing on Ethereum. So each time that Bitcoin goes down, the short calls go in profit. I simply close it for a profit, and then I reopen new positions closer to the spot price, right? So that's basically effectively this triangle. I always focus on the untested side. I leave the tested side because this has been tested right now. I leave that and I just focus on the untested side. Okay, so right now Bitcoin is still at 59K, still a little bit above these two positions. So let's see what happens, right? So I also have the long calls that's also bleeding pretty badly, but the good thing is the long call is capped. The maximum loss on this position is about $500, as you can see here. That's the maximum loss on the position. Currently I'm down about 50%, and I also have another long call here at 72K. I'm down about 78%, so the maximum loss here is already $111, right? So we're getting close to the maximum loss. So these long calls, I'm just keeping it here to be like wings, right? So in case Bitcoin bounces back, these positions can print. So this is just complete transparency, guys. Same thing on Ethereum positions. I'll be closing these two positions pretty soon. I also took profit on Ethereum. If I go here quickly, you will see Ethereum, I took some profit here. I closed these two positions. I went great profit, close to 50%, and then I locked that win, right? So I opened up these two positions recently. Same thing with Ethereum. The short puts are in troubles and the long calls on Ethereum are also in trouble, right? So that's what's happening here. But again, I'm not really worried. So why do I have this strategy here, guys? This is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. What I'm doing here, I'm literally bringing in premium into the account to reduce my average entry. What do I mean by that? So this is the assets that I have here, guys. So I'm currently just blurring this out because I don't want I know my portfolio is down, so I don't really like to look at it. I like to stay focused, but as you can see, guys, the portfolio is pretty down bad. So in any case, this is the assets that I'm holding, right? I have USDC as collateral, and because the positions when the options positions that I'm trading is in inverse options, meaning the premium that I'm receiving buying and selling is in Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay, so essentially I'm receiving more Bitcoin and Ethereum as I trade it. And the good thing here is the average. Look at the average price. This is the average price of Bitcoin that I have right here, right now, 70K. Same thing for Ethereum, 1.6. So Ethereum is not too far from the current price. So what that basically means, as soon as the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum recovers, right, and it goes above 70K, I'll be in massive profit. So that's literally all I need to do. So by bringing in premium into the account, guys, as I'm closing profits, right, and bringing premium into the account, what's happening is I'm lowering my average entry each time that I close these positions, each time that I realize these positions for profit, right? What's happening here is I'm reducing my average price, and the goal is to continue to reduce it as much as possible as long as we're in this bear market. So Bitcoin can go to 55K, 56K, 53K. I don't really care where it goes. I'll just keep on bringing profits, because what's going to happen is the short calls are going to win, right? The short calls are going to win. I'm just going to continue to bring in premium, bring in more premium, bring in more premium, and Theta is going to continue to pay me each and every day. All I have to do is just stick to the strategy. Now imagine if I can bring this average price down to the 60K levels, guys, right? And then Bitcoin were to bounce from 60K to 100K. Just look at that massive difference, right? That's a massive 40K difference. That's massive profit that I can make in between, right? So that's the strategy, guys. That's why I have a long-term outlook. So this could happen. According to analysts, Bitcoin could bottom out around October, and then from October, November onwards, which is towards the end of the year, we should have another bull market. So I'm just waiting patiently and sticking to the strategy. Okay, and let me show you why the strategy is really great, guys. So let's look at some calculations, right? So in the rands, I'm basically making $200 each and every 200 rand each and every day, which is great, right? So what's happening here, guys? Take this Theta, right, which is $12 per day. If I take this $12 per day, right, and I multiply with the day remaining here, which is 35 days, I'll be making, let's see, 12 times 35. How do I delete this? There's a backspace button. Anyways, I don't know. I see. So 12 times 35. So that's about $420 that I stand to make with Theta if the price stays the same, right? So roughly around that level. Okay. So in the next 35 days, I stand to make $420, right, with this Theta. Okay. So this is a premium that I've received, and I will collect this entire premium if Bitcoin stays around this level. Let's just take Bitcoin for example. If Bitcoin stays around this level between let's say between 59K where it is right now and below 64K and 65, then I stand to make this entire $500. Okay, so that means I go back here plus $500. That's in the next 35 days. Okay, so I've already made $920, guys, in the next 35 days. So meaning if everything stays the same, I've theoretically erased all this loss that I'm seeing here right now, right? Pretty much. And on top of that, I've also made some profit of $215 that I've locked in, right, for this week so far. Okay, so if you go back to the calculator, plus 215, right? So if everything stayed the same, guys, this is basically how much I stand to make in the next 35 days. Let's multiply that by 16 for the conversion rate, which is about 18,000 Rand. If you go back here, show this in Rand, basically I would have erased this loss by doing absolutely nothing, guys. And that's if Bitcoin stays the way it is. If Bitcoin goes lower, all I do is I rinse and repeat. I close some profits on the short side, reopen new positions, and then I just keep waiting again, right? So that's literally the strategy, guys, that I'm employing in the bear market, right? All I have to do is wait, be patient, and stick to the strategy. And we all know that Bitcoin is not going to stay at this level. Same thing for Ethereum, is going to bounce back because the sellers are going to be exhausted. So instead of panicking, instead of selling, instead of gambling and thinking short term, you always need to have a long term outlook. This account will print, we will go back to all time highs. My average entry will be drastically reduced, and that's how we're going to print and win and get to that $10,000, if not more. So that's what I wanted to give you guys an update. Stay focused. We're in the bear market. This basically always happens, guys. This is my first actual proper bear market, and I'm glad that I'm here. I'm glad to show you guys full transparency how I'm down on the account. I'm not too sure that there's many content creators out there that does this. And yeah, guys, so if you guys like the content, drop a like, drop a comment, share the video, subscribe. I'm always here. I'm also on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, guys, or X. I share all my positions right live, and I'll see you guys on the next one.